Hey everybody, welcome to Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. And today we're having a Facebook Live. And I'm just going to give you guys the first 40 seconds or so to hop into this broadcast and with a little bit of an introduction. I'm Dr. Maggie Yu. I'm an integrative physician that focuses my practice on how to transform autoimmune disease naturally. And we have a Facebook group by the same name, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. Please join that Facebook group because there's tons of information and videos in the group as well. And for those of you who are watching live right now, please go ahead and write in the comments section where you're watching from. It's really important for me to know that you're watching, number one. Number two, where you're watching from. The demographics is great, so we know who we're talking to. And those of you who are alumni who've been through our program already, please go ahead and jump into the group that you're an alumni so we can start some Q&A going with the people that are watching us right now. So we have a program, an 8-week online program called Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. If some of you have not seen our free online training, we're putting the link below that now so you can watch the training and learn what we're all about. Today, actually, we're having a great topic for discussion. Today's topic is going to be brain fog. Brain fog is a serious issue in autoimmune disease, and its impact is devastating. And on top of it, there's this whole hidden issue with having ADD or ADHD also, and dealing with autoimmune disease. Did you know there's a giant link? So we're going to talk about that hidden secret and hidden link between autoimmune disease and ADD and ADHD. What I'm going to do is, though, before we jump right into it, is that I have a disclaimer, which is, even though I am a doctor, I'm not acting as your doctor during this video broadcast. This is for educational purposes only, which means that you should watch at your own risk and for your own benefit. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to invite Dawn on. We're going to go ahead and share this video to your personal page or to any groups that you're in, anyone that would benefit from this topic about brain fog, ADD and ADHD and autoimmune disease. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Dawn on. And Dawn is a recent graduate of our program. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. But she just graduated a couple weeks ago from our program. And we're here to go ahead and talk about ADHD, ADD, and brain fog. Give her a thumbs up. Give her some hearts right now. Thank you. And welcome, Dawn. Let's have you introduce yourself, Dawn. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Dr. Maggie. I'm Dawn Sharp, and I'm in Texas, so yes, I do have the accent, y'all. I'm an artist. I'm real, very, very real, and I have 4 kids. They range in ages from 22 down to 16, 3 of the 4 with ADD, and 3 of the 4 that I have watched from birth as the ADD manifested in myself as well, and seeing how that's changed. And I'm telling you, it's real. The connection is real. So
yeah. So
thanks for having me here.
Thank you, Dawn. So let's start from the beginning. I mean, you and I mean, we really, you enrolled in the program literally probably about 3 months ago. So this is relatively new for you. I want to just jog your memory to what the heck was life? What were some of the diagnoses you were struggling with when you came into when we had our first call?
Well, ADD was my first diagnosis of anything, and I was 23 years old and put on medication after drinking pots and pots of coffee prior to that. As my life, as I grew as an adult and started having children, I had lots of problems, female problems, miscarriages, diagnosed with all sorts of female issues, from endometriosis to fibroids and you name it. And then ended up having these 4 high-risk pregnancies and was diagnosed with autoimmune disease of Hashimoto's. That was kind of too late, if you will, because my life had already really started falling apart majorly. And my kids were impacted, my marriage, my life, my career. And then as I got worse, started getting more diagnoses of chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, was diagnosed with lupus a few years ago, but now don't even have any of the markers at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of diagnoses, which is really common. We see this in our program all the time. The people we talk to all the time is there's these multiple layers of diagnoses involved, and they're just all different targets of the autoimmune attack, honestly. So my question for you is that brain fog, how much of an impact did that have on your life? The ADD and the brain fog. Tell me, like, on a day-to-day life-wise, how much of an impact that had on you. And those of you who are suffering with brain fog or ADHD, please list your symptoms and the impact on your life in the comments section, please. Go ahead, Don. What was the impact on you?
The brain fog was horrible. I went from being like just on top of everything to not being able to complete sentences, to not being able to remember, including not remembering important conversations with my kids, not being able to conduct business, not remembering what clients would say, and feeling very self-conscious about my abilities. I was taking ADD meds at first.
For 22 years with ADHD
22
meds, right?
years.
Okay.
Yes. And at first that was to keep my thinking straight and help me to stay focused. Well, then it got to where that I was taking the ADD meds just to have energy enough to function.
Right.
And then they had to continue raising the doses.
Okay. So my next question is going to be, where are you now? I mean, you're what, a couple weeks out from graduating from the program. This was an 8-week program. People want to know, what were your outcomes in these 8 weeks?
Oh, wow. I can't even begin to describe how amazing. Within 4 weeks, I was completely off of all medications, including the ADD meds. My brain, I sleep like wonderfully at night. My life is completely coming back together. No more fatigue, no more pain. There's all the different things that I've learned through the program have just majorly impacted my life. I thought there was one thing, one key, but there's been multiple links.
We'll get into that. So there's a lot of outcomes you're talking about. Now, just focusing on brain fog itself and ADD, what has been the impact on solving that problem in your life now? What is life like now without ADD or brain fog? What are the impacts?
I'm free. I can carry on complete conversations. Remember what we've talked about. I am sharp.
Dawn Sharp.
And I'm sharp. Dawn Sharp. And no medicine, no medications, no caffeine. Well, I do drink a cup of coffee every morning, but that's because I just absolutely love it. Yeah. But that's it. I go with even energy. No, I don't have the lulls. I'm not constantly trying to stress myself out, trying to figure out how to maintain energy or how to complete a task. I go from one task to the next, sometimes doing multiple tasks. And I hadn't been able to do that for about 15 years. Okay,
so you're saying starting week 4, this happened. And so from week 4 to 8, when all these changes happened, you're about a month out. And in the last month, would you say the symptoms are the same as when you were left at week 8, or do you think they're still continuing to get better?
Oh, undoubtedly they're getting better. It's like at about week 6, I thought, oh, wow, this is amazing. How can it get better? And now it's like, I just know things are going to continue getting better because my sleep is continuing to improve. My energy, my weight loss is continuing. I feel great. Life is amazing.
Life is amazing. So
life is amazing.
Here's a secret. A lot of people don't know that ADD and ADHD is kind of a diagnosis we give to a list of symptoms, but there's a huge autoimmune link. So it's very interesting in my practice. What I've seen is that most people, with autoimmune disease at some point have had the question of whether they have ADD or ADHD or not because their brain fog is so bad. So these symptoms are very related to all the targets of autoimmunity. And then the other thing is that when I deal with a lot of kids that have ADD and ADHD, and I would say overwhelmingly the majority of them have mothers or fathers who have an autoimmune disease. So there could be a huge argument made that there is a big genetic component to kids and adults being diagnosed with ADD symptoms that actually have a huge autoimmune component that nobody's addressing or seeing. And if you were able to, in 4 weeks, by approaching a program and a system for autoimmune disease, stop taking medication for ADD, that you've been taking for 22 years. There's something to be said that the autoimmune approach to ADD works.
Hands down.
So my question, and this happened to me, guys, I was diagnosed with ADHD myself and took ADHD meds for years. And I found that I was able to reverse all my symptoms of ADD by actually having a system and a program to actually calm autoimmunity. So people are going to ask you, John, this is a big program. And we're using data, education, life coaching, and mindset work to get these outcomes. My question for you and everybody's is, what were the secrets that you learned about yourself in these 8 weeks that was able to turn around 22 years of ADD symptoms in 4 weeks?
It's not just one thing. It's been multiple prongs, multiple things. But I think, and I thought that it would only be one thing. I thought that was all that was missing was one. But your entire approach has transformed my life completely. My biggest thing, my biggest linchpin is low blood sugar.
Yep.
And if I even still, if I do not maintain my blood sugar, and it's not a matter of drinking orange juice or having a piece of candy, that is not what I'm talking about at all.
Right. It's so much bigger than that, right?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And so I get so excited talking to people about blood sugar because it's like you can see and hear whenever their brain's not clicking, and my brain sometimes won't click. It's like, wait a second, when was the last time that I ate and what did I eat? And just go and load up on exactly what I need, and it's all gone. And then the hormones.
So what I'm hearing though on blood sugar is that it was a customized plan based on what you needed, and you were able to, in a very short time, have a direct cause and effect. ADD symptoms, brain fog, here's the cause, fix it, boom. For you, a big part of that was blood sugar, number one.
Yes. And here's the thing, had I not been working directly with you and with Frankie to see what is for me, not for everyone else, because there is no one size fits all or cookie cutter.
Correct.
There isn't. And had I not been working hands-on directly with you guys, I don't think I ever would have figured it out. I mean, really. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the blood sugar and what works for me and my body is huge. Hormones have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been amazing.
What's the big deal with hormones in your brain fog?
I think a more appropriate question is, what's not the big deal with hormones and brain fog?
Exactly.
Really? Yeah, I mean, really, because thyroid is a hormone, most people don't even realize, but so whenever we're looking at our thyroid, that's great. But oh my gosh, my adrenals were just in the tank, and my female hormones we're not going to say where they were. They were not good. Even though, wait, what?
I had some choice words for your hormones.
Yes, you did, but we're not going to repeat those live.
Okay.
But I want to tell you, in March, my MD, my endocrinologist that has been treating my autoimmune disease for 3 years, said my hormones, my female hormones, and my adrenals were fine. They were good.
Were they?
So not good. So yeah, my hormones are huge. Yeah.
But that's a good point. A lot of people think that because they've gone to an endocrinologist or they've gone to the gynecologist or they've had the hormones or adrenals checked before, they think that equals personal mastery. And what's really happening is it's really dependent on the people who's running them, what they know how to do with this, and do they even know it's linked with their autoimmune disease, and how do you apply it to someone with autoimmune disease? That's what personal mastery is. So what you're saying is you've been through the mill with the hormone evaluation stuff, being told that they're normal. What you found in this program was what the hell was right with them. There were so many things wrong with them.
Yeah.
And how quickly were you able to turn around and balance your hormones with personal mastery?
That is what is so exciting. Is because with hormones, and I'm talking my adrenals in one column and my female hormones in another, I didn't attack both of them all at the same time because that would just be ludicrous with your guidance. Thank you very much. And so the first thing I did was went for the adrenals because they were in the tank. And within 2 or 3 days, I could feel such a huge difference. I was able to start thinking more clearly to a point that I thought it was temporary, but then it kept going. and it kept being better and better. And so then finally attacked about a week, maybe closer to 2 weeks later, started doing the female hormones, and I could see physical results in my skin in 3 days.
So hormone changes within days.
Yes.
All
and
right.
all of that combined was affecting my sleep. I didn't realize how negatively my hormones were impacting my sleep, which was impacting my brain fog and my function and my overall life.
Tied together, and then the blood sugar was causing you not to sleep.
Yes.
You not to sleep in the middle of the night. See how all these pieces play together?
And then all of them combined created just like horrible brain fog and fatigue, and made me less confident, made me question myself, and just, it really impacts the life overall. But it didn't just impact me, it impacted everyone around me.
Right.
And now it's positively impacting everyone.
We're going to talk about that. But so number one, you said blood sugar. Number two is hormones. Were those the two major linchpins, or were there more?
Those were the two major ones for me. Food mapping was a big thing for me also. I'd already been doing the whole autoimmune paleo diet for over 2 years, totally gluten-free. And that made a huge difference. And I thought, okay, I just needed one little tweaking. So wrong. Come to find out, I've been filling my diet with almonds, almond milk, almond meal. Oh my gosh! And almonds is one of my highest allergens. And I know. Thank you for
like evil, sinister black here, but like to me, that's the problem is with the general broad brushstroke of all, because you were on what, paleo, keto, AIP for like several years before you joined our program. And
yes,
you were trying really hard, and you were trying so hard, eliminating 30% or more of the food on the planet. And lo and behold, with a blood test and food mapping in week 4 of the program, you find out freaking almonds.
Yes, almonds and sesame, because of course everything has to be cooked in sesame oil. And whenever you eliminate gluten, then you've got almond flour and sesames and crackers and everything else. Those were my 2 biggest keys. And I took those out, and within about 4 days, my pain was gone. It's just amazing.
But think about that, Dawn. I mean, what you're telling me is, it's not like these are very difficult, but there wasn't a system in place to systematically get data and approach the learning that it takes for you to personally master this stuff. And once you did, within days and within weeks, you were able to turn around ADD and brain fog that you've had for 22 plus years. Am I right?
Completely.
And think about it.
Whereas I couldn't. I'm sorry.
What was the cost of having ADD and brain fog on your performance when you were in school, on your performance as an artist, your productivity as an artist, your ability to own and run your business? What was the cost of also all the care that led up to this point that didn't bring you outcomes, in addition to all those costs of the quality of life issues we're talking about? What was the cost and impact of not doing this?
It's truly immeasurable. You can't put a figure on what it does to your family, what it does to your life. You can't put a figure on it. And so really and truly, y'all have given me my life back. And I've been able, through your program, I've been able to help my kids. And my daughter's 19. And I really do pray that through what I've learned, that she's able to avoid so much of the pain that I have endured, and so much of the pain that my family has gone through because of the brain fog and me not being as available as I needed to be.
So you shared that I think earlier today you just had lunch with your son, and
yes.
You said that it was very impactful, and you had some impactful insights. Can you tell me, like, now that you've been through the program, you've gotten these outcomes, you've seen the insights and how quickly things can be turned around. What was so impactful about your lunch with your son today?
If I could, let me back up a little bit on that answer. My daughter, I've known since she was 13 that she had Hashimoto's, which she was diagnosed also. And so I was doing and have been helping her in that regard, and she's been seeing improvements, but I never suspected that any of my boys had any autoimmune disease until your program. And with the success I've had, with all that I've learned from you, I have come to suspect that my oldest son has autoimmune disease. And I know he has adrenal fatigue. And I've watched him literally since he was 6 months old go from just revved. He was always revved and energetic, and couldn't settle down, to where now, and he was on the ADD meds and all of that, and now he's not energetic, and he's only 22, and I see it in his face, I see it in his skin, I see it in his life, and so it's amazing how once you know, you can never not know. And the conversation with him today led to that, and he was very open to how he can help himself and make changes, because he, at 22, and he's single, he is feeling the effects of it big time.
So I've said this in the program, I'm going to repeat it now. I think as parents, we have a choice on how we impact our children. And there are two very powerful ways. We can choose to be a warning, or we can choose to be an example. And prior to this program, what would you consider yourself? And where do you consider yourself now?
Oh, prior to the program, I was a big, loud warning. I made some impact by example, but it wasn't based on data. It was just based on some information I'd learned from some other programs I'd been through that were cookie cutter. But now I know. It's not a question or I think, it's like I know, and I have all the information and data to support that, and then how to fix it. That's the thing. I don't just know what's wrong, but I know how to fix it. And so I'm helping myself big time. But by watching me, I have friends, several friends, and I have 3 other generations, or 2 other generations, third including myself, that are utilizing this information to impact their lives because of autoimmune disease.
So this is something I actually say to people when we've talked about this in our program, which is that I look at, if you haven't watched our online training, please go to the link below and register to watch our online training now. And one of the examples I talk about is how autoimmune disease is like Godzilla, and he's going to attack all these different targets. And we're in the business of conventional medicine of just band-aiding targets, and nobody's really looking at how to starve and stop Godzilla. For me, I love that whole analogy, but what I love about it in relation to us being powerful with our children is that I love the fact that once you've been through this program and you have these tools and you have personal mastery, you actually can kill Godzilla while he's an egg in your children.
Absolutely. I wish I had this information when my kids were little, when I had control over their diet, when I had control over what they put into their mind or into their bodies, because the reality is that we can all learn, but we are to guide our kids. And if you don't know, you don't know. And I didn't know. And what I was doing, even in thinking that I was feeding them correctly, in many ways I was exacerbating their problems. And so, yeah, knowledge is power, and they are watching my life transform, and they're wanting some of it. They're wanting to do and live, because they've seen me go from having no life to literally running circles around even them.
So my next question is that, so what's fascinating is, how you say you were a big fat warning, and now you're really an example, is I've already had several of your friends contact us to actually learn more about the program. I talked to one of your friends today, actually, and her question was, because one of the questions I always ask is why now? And her response was, I want whatever Dawn's having. Because I know her for the last couple of years. I know where she's been, and I can't believe what I'm seeing now. And do you see how powerful you as the example are now to other people?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would not believe that who I am now is the same person that I was 2 years ago, even a year ago, because, well, I wasn't the same person. I wasn't. And so thanks very, very much.
You're welcome. And so a couple closing questions and comments was for some people, it's obvious based on what you said, but it's a good question to ask, which is it's an investment in your health to actually invest in our program and get these outcomes. But it's an investment, not an investment, but it's also a big cost if you don't do something dramatic like you have in the last 22 years. So one question I have is, people always ask is, was it worth the investment? Investing in the system and this program to get these outcomes for you and your family?
Oh, it was worth 10 times the investment because of, you cannot measure health and quality of life in dollars. You simply can't. And I didn't have much of a quality of life. I didn't have much of even though I was doing a lot better, I had no idea just how great that it could be. And yeah, it's so beyond worth the cost of working with you. Just, yeah, no question.
Great. And really for me, I want to highlight the point is what Dawn is saying is that what we do is really different, because what we do is really personal mastery, and you have personal mastery and you're affecting others in your life by being the example. How do we do personal mastery? It's truly your own data. So this is a customized program. Education around how to master all these areas that are feeding Godzilla. Number 3 is live coaching, which with live coaching, it's an individual customized work that we did with you and others in the program. And then huge is mindset work, changing your mindset around this to this is not acceptable. This is not the way the rest of your life is going to go. You absolutely have cause and effect, and you can change this around fast in days and in weeks, which is what you did.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You got to be committed to wanting to make a change and want something better. Thing is I didn't even know how good it could be. And I have not felt this good since I was 19 years old, and I am not anywhere near 19.
Dawn, thank you so much for joining us. And this was a great interview. A lot of people don't understand the impact of brain fog and how quickly it could be turned around when there's a system in place for that. And also the impact of this, not only for us as people with autoimmune disease, but the impact on our children, the knowledge and example that we are, the impact we're able to make for our children. ADD, ADHD, brain fog, absolutely an approach to autoimmune disease makes a huge difference in it. And that's what the point of our interview is today. And thank you for being a shining light and being able to share your experience. This is not easy to do, guys, for someone to come on to a Facebook Live and talk about their personal life and their kids and the impact of this on them. So please give Dawn a big heart, thumbs up, wow face. This is incredible. And for those of you that have not heard about our program and want to learn more, please go to healingautoimmunediseasenaturally.com. And there you can register to watch our free online training. You can book a call with us for us to learn more about you so we can figure out if and how we can help you. So thank you, Dawn, for joining us. Thank you for those of you who have been watching. Great big thumbs up and heart. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you guys soon for our next Facebook Live. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks.